So there goes a sight, there goes a sight. Now there goes a sight for my soul. There goes a sight for my soul.
Alright guys, when running around the outside of your base, you're going to want to make sure you see nothing but this if it's stone, or this if it's sheet metal. This means it's backwards, and this means it is backwards. Backwards walls can be rated a lot easier than a frontwards facing one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 swings for 1 point of damage. I'm doing 1 point every hit. So you can drastically decrease the raid time on your base if you have the wall flipped around. So make sure to not make that mistake. Whenever you are starting off on a server with a small group from anywhere from 2 to 5 players, I always recommend starting with a 2x2. They're easy to build, they don't require a lot of resources, and they're easy to expand on. So I'm going to do a quick walkthrough on this one. So if you open this door, you're going to see an airlock. Now, from here, a lot of people will use ladder hatches, and they'll place a ladder hatch so that they are ready for expansion in the future. However, the ladder hatches are easy to break through. Just using a salvaged hammer, they can break through it pretty quickly with 1 to 2 of these, I think. Each swing being about 1 point of damage. Now, with that being said, what I do is I usually go with a stairs and door technique. That way you can upgrade the doors at a later time, and you still have access up here and can expand once you're ready. And if need be, you can even put another door right here so that they'd have 2 doors to go through. Here's where your loot room would be. So you would just place a couple shelves there with a bunch of large chests. But this is how I would build my 2x2. If you would like to not survive the night and you want to be raided right away, almost immediately when you sign off, go ahead and put a window on the first floor. And for safe measures, you can go ahead and just put wooden window bars and sign off, and your base will not be safe at all. Or if you're like most of Rust players and want to actually survive the night, do not place a window on the first floor, but place it on the second floor at the least. I prefer not to put it on the second floor just because a group of 2 players, I repeat, 2 players, can still easily get through there. They can boost on top of each other, jump, and get in. I know, I've done it. Okay, so the reason why I don't recommend the first floor at all is because if hit, you can easily get through this with a hatchet. Once through, you can crouch, jump, and you're in the base. And that takes a lot less effort than blowing through these doors. So never put a window on the first floor, and if at all possible, don't even put it on the second floor. Always try to put it on the 3rd floor or higher. If you're looking to make your base easy to raid, as easy as possible, look no further than placing any of these deployable items right next to your base. That way, people can, in small groups, hop on, double jump to the top of this. Again, double jump to the top of this and right onto your base. And now they have access to your top floor. Or same thing with this. Now they can just pickaxe their way here. And bypass the first floor altogether. Same thing with this one. In fact, I can do that one by myself. I don't even need somebody to help. And then, let's see, can you get in through this? My gosh. My gosh. That was way too easy. So, again, that is another reason why you should never put a window on the second floor. Or any deployable right outside of it. Because I, with no boosters, was able to get right into your base. You are always going to want to honeycomb your walls as soon as you can. Once you have the main walls set up and enough loot, start expanding on your base with honeycomb. So this wall only takes one to go through in order to get in your base, whereas something like this requires 1, 2, 3 walls. And obviously this requires 2 more walls to get through. 1, 2, 3, 4, and last but not least, 5. So this is what the honeycomb looks like from the top. So it just looks like what it sounds like. It just looks like a bee's honeycomb. So just go through and honeycomb your stuff. The best way to do it is triangle foundations, go around just like this, and then when you're ready, you put walls there. Always make sure they're facing the outside, because if one's facing the inside, if you're doing it this way, then it's just going to give them an easy choice. Do I want to do this one or this one, where this one's going to be a whole lot easier to get through, and about half the time, if that. So always honeycomb your bases. When placing a door in front of stairs, more often than not, is going to be a lot easier to work with a double door than a single door. Single door, you're going to have to really duck down and move forward and kind of squeeze to the left in order to get in. Whereas double door, you just have to duck down for a brief second. It makes getting through there a lot easier, and you're able to, instead of use a ladder hatch, you're able to place a door here, and you could also place a door here in order to get to your next level. To take a door off of its hinges, go up to it, make sure to unlock the door code first. You can hit remove key lock, open the door, and then you can push and hold E and you can say pick up. You can do that with ladder hatches, double door, as well as single doors. If you find yourself in a situation where you accidentally placed a wall facing the wrong way, you must have access to the tool cupboard, and within 10 to maybe 15 minutes of placing the wall, you can use the hammer, walk up to it, right click, and right here you can rotate it. You can rotate walls as well as stairs. So if you place a stair down and you need to rotate it for any reason, such as making good 1x1s, this is how you would do so. When you are in a situation where placing it like this just will not work and you can't get in there to place it sideways, know that most deployable items will allow you to press the R button and actually rotate it, giving you the opportunity to slide that where you need to put it. Deployables can no longer clip through walls, even in the slightest bit. So it's always best to place the walls first and then place a deployable against it. But this also means that you will no longer have your furnaces sticking through the wall. When building your base, keep in mind that you do not want to place a furnace on any level lower than your loot floor. Normally, people would have to blow through here and blow through this door to get to the floor where your loot room would be located. But if you have a furnace down here, all they'd have to do is take a hatchet or a pickaxe, blow through that floor, and then jump on up here and blow through that door. So it saves them 2 doors to have to go through and just go through the floor instead. When determining what level to put your loot on, I typically will avoid putting anything on the first and second floor outside of bags and fire pit or a campfire. For the most part, I will leave the first 2 floors completely open. That way it makes it harder for the raiders to boost on up to the next levels, and they'd have to gain access to the tool cupboards in order to move forward. So one thing you can do is place a large box, have a furnace. Obviously you would have a code lock on the furnace, but see, from here you cannot gain access to the tool cupboard. But when you're on the large box, you can't gain access to the ladder hatch. But once you're on the large box, then you can open it and you can go ahead and hop on up here. And then you could place your loot here on the 3rd floor. There is an easy and a hard way to get down your base quickly. I'm going to go over both of them right now. So you can just drop off the side of your base and take fall damage, as I will go over right now, which is the worst way to go down your base. So if I just simply drop down, I lost 75 health right there. what I can do is if I move in this motion where I go off of the wall and come back towards the base or back towards the wall, that will allow me to slow down my descent so that I don't take as much damage. So let's go ahead and do it right now. As you can see, I took absolutely no damage and I just dropped from a great height. From what I can tell, it doesn't really work well with wood. It does a little bit, but you're really going to grab onto the wall on the stone a lot better. And I don't think it works with sheet metal as well. I think that one is the worst, and you just drop straight down to your death. The other way, the easier way, is doing a fireman chute. That's where you have a triangle piece with walls going all the way up, and then you can really slow down or increase your descent. You can control it a lot better with this. So if I just run straight to the corner, I'm going to drop very slowly. But if I kind of ease up on that a little bit and press forward here and there as I fall, I'm going to really control the descent of my fall. So let's try that again. So I can... I must have missed it altogether. So let's try it again. So I'm going to go towards the edge. And I received no fall damage. And I came down pretty quickly. That way I am ready to just jump on somebody who's outside my base and take them out. I'm going to go over stability right now because it plays a huge factor. Obviously, the floor is going to all be 100. The walls are going to be consistently at 68. I think the grade level of the walls give it different stability. Armor being the most. So if we upgrade this to armor, it would receive more stability than this. Now, let's talk about the next floor, or the roof. It's going to vary dependent on how many walls it is connected to. So this is at 64, and it's connected to 2 walls. This, however, is connected to 1, so therefore it's at 59. And this one back at 68. In this case, that part I don't understand why that one says 68 and the other one says 64. Nevertheless, this one again 59, this one 64, so on and so forth. 47, that might be because there's no floor next to it. But if we were to put, let's say, this down, then you'll see it jumped up. Because now this ladder hatch or floor foundation thing has a certain amount of stability, and it is going to share it with the floors connected to it. So this one's 63, this one's 63, so on and so forth. Alright, now let's go back to this middle one. This middle one's at 56. If you're wanting to increase the stability of this, you have 2 options. You can use the pillar, which is a great option, and you'll see now it is much higher. Or another viable option is door frames. So if you place door frames down, you'll see that that too is going up. In fact, that brought it up even more. If I go back to the pillar and do a combination of the two, it'll be even higher. So this has the most amount of stability over all of these floors. Except for that one, which now has 72. Oh wait, no, this still has 79. Okay. So that is a great way to increase the stability while still having pretty good mobility through your base is using pillars and double door frames. So I've got two kinds of starter bases right here, and there's a third one behind me, but I haven't actually built it yet. I just wanted to show you the layout first. So this one is the one I always pick to when I am brand new, fresh onto the server. I will pick this one. It's a 1x2, standard 1x2, but with a triangle piece at the front. And the reason why I do this is because it allows you to maximize your resources very well. It costs the least amount of resources, but gives you enough space to gather everything you need to build your next base very quickly. So let's take a look. So in here you've got your standard airlock, which every single base needs an airlock. So you've got a sleeping bag as well as the campfire in this. It's very important to have these here. So then inside here you've got this. It's beautiful. You've got 3 shelves and you've got a bunch of boxes. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 large boxes, 3 small boxes, and a furnace. Alright, so this is what I typically build for my first base. With the component system and the recycling system, it makes it much easier to, and actually feasible to, build this as your very first starter bases. And I'll go ahead and show you how on a later video. Leave comments stating that you want to see this, and I'll make it sooner rather than later. The other one is this right here. So you come in here, you can place tool cupboard right there. You can, I don't know, there's a bunch of different ways at which you can do this. Now, one thing that I always do with this, and let me give you an aerial view, because I do build this a whole lot as well, and the reason why I build it is because it costs the least amount of resources while giving you the most amount of protection. It costs 3 walls to get to the center of this lollipop. So in order to get to the tool cupboard, you got to get through 3 walls, and in this particular situation you got to get through 3 doors, which makes it a little bit easier than the walls. So what I will do from time to time when I build these kinds of bases, I'll build that as my second base. I'll first start with this, gain the resources necessary to build this one in the way that I like to build it, because some people will just start building this and it makes it difficult to expand in the future because you got doors going to your tool cupboard and all that jazz. But what I'll do is let's remove these and these and just put doors down. Put walls just like you normally would. Put that down, put that down. I'm not going to bother with upgrading to stone just to make this video a little bit shorter, because it is long enough already. And you get the point, a honeycomb, all of this. If it's just you or a small group and all of you are online, then you won't need access to the tool cupboard again. So what you can do is you can actually completely wall it off so that you'll never have access to it. But in case you are with a group and or you plan on expanding, then what you can do is you can put a ladder hatch up here so you can always go back down and gain access to it. But if they do gain access to this floor, they can blow into that, go down, gain access, and build back out. So just keep that in mind. But if they're on this floor, which is potentially where you would put your loot, your SOL as it is already. So then I would throw a ladder hatch there, and that way there is only one door. They come in, you got to go up the ladder hatch to gain access to the rest of your base. So this would allow for maximum safety and the least amount of resources, because now they have to blow through a door and 2 walls at the least to get to your tool cupboard. Some people will risk putting a tool cupboard in a corner foundation and throw them off. I don't recommend doing that because it's a 1 in 4 chance that they will get to it easier. So that's why I always just put it in the center. That way I know at minimum, at all times, it's going to be a door and 2 walls for them to get through. Which, even first week of the server, that's going to be a lot of satchel charges. That's going to be approximately 24 satchel charges. So that's why I do it this way. The other option is to build an octagon. So you just build a little triangle pieces all the way around, and then you can triangle fortify it further, and you can just keep on going with triangle pieces to your heart's content, and it will be the maximum amount of walls without doing the double wall stacking, which I'll go over that on a different video than this, because I don't feel that it's as realistic as one would think. Nevertheless, so you can use this as much as you want and just keep going on for days and days and days, and just keep honeycombing it, honeycombing it, honeycombing it, and keep on going. So this is also a very feasible option for you guys. So leave down in the comments which ones you like, which one you would want to see me actually build and turn into a base. And heck, if you pick one of these, maybe I will use that as my main base, and we'll see how long I last. Right now I have a particular base setup that I'm very fond of, and I want to see if it will at all get rated. So we shall see. But anyways, these are the starter ones, and I think that's going to wrap up this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned a lot. Please leave likes, thumbs ups, whatever it is, kisses, whatever emojis you want. Put down in the comments what you liked about it, what you want to see more of, what you didn't like, any suggestions you have, and then please subscribe and share it with your friends. You guys have a good one. Peace out.